During the Napoleonic Wars, infantry fought in close order, packed together, standing shoulder to shoulder. But why would anyone make such an easy target for the enemy? First, command and control. Without radios, officers gave orders through shouted commands, drums, or bugles. That was hard enough in the smoke and noise of battle, but almost impossible if the troops were spread out. Second, firepower. Muskets were smoothbore and inaccurate past about 80 yards, so firing in volleys, all together, all at once, was the best way to hurt the enemy, both physically and psychologically. Third, morale. Soldiers were far more willing to march into danger or hold the line if they did it as a group, urging each other on. Fourth, defense against cavalry. Scattered infantry were easy prey for horsemen. Only by sticking together could they fight them off. The basic tactical unit of infantry was the battalion. A French line battalion had, in theory, 840 men, but in practice it was closer to 500 or 600. Our example here has 605 men, a typical size for a battalion on campaign. The men were split into 6 companies, 4 fusilier companies, and 2 flank companies. On the right, the grenadiers, the tallest, strongest men. They were often pulled out to form elite all-grenadier units. On the left, the voltigeurs, specialist light infantry. Their job was to skirmish in front of the battalion. Skirmishers moved on their own, used cover, and fired at will to harass and unsettle the enemy, while keeping enemy skirmishers from doing the same. Most armies had their own light infantry for this role. Like the British 95th Rifles, the French Chasseurs à Pied, and the Austrian and Prussian Jaeger battalions. The traditional battlefield formation was the line. All companies formed up side by side, 3 ranks deep. The line let the most men fire their muskets at the enemy and limited casualties from artillery fire. But it was very vulnerable to cavalry if it could be outflanked, and even for well-drilled troops, keeping the line straight while advancing over broken ground was hard. So for moving and attacking, battalions usually formed a column of divisions. This was a more flexible formation. It let the battalion advance quickly, but it gave the enemy guns a bigger target. Solid round shot could tear through several ranks at once, and far fewer men could fire back. In theory, the battalion would deploy into line before reaching the enemy. But doing that slow maneuver under fire wasn't always possible or smart. So some commanders kept their men in column, relying on sheer momentum to break the enemy line. It was a risky tactic. It often worked against raw troops, but led to heavy losses when facing better trained infantry, like the British Redcoats. A column could close up quickly for protection against cavalry. Or, if there was time, it could form a square. With bayonets fixed, the battalion created an all-around defense, often more of a rectangle, really. Enemy cavalry could surround the square, but not break in. Horses won't charge into a solid wall of men in steel. But an infantry square was extremely vulnerable to artillery fire, and could only move very slowly, changing quickly and smoothly from one formation to another, especially under fire, took training, practice, and experience. In 1809, the Austrian army started using the battalion mass formation. It was crude, but better suited to hastily trained conscripts. This was a dense column with limited firepower and very vulnerable to enemy cannon. But it could close up fast to repel cavalry using the same idea as the square, without the complex drill. And it was much easier to maneuver.